We're going into dark territory. One nobody wants to talk about, and that everyone carries tattooed on their skin since the moment they first drew breath. Don't look at me with disbelief, because what I'm about to tell you is not theory. It is the root of your mind, the germ of your most forbidden fears and desires. Listen to me closely. Your childhood never went away. It didn't leave with birthdays or the passing years. It is here, crawling beneath every decision you make, soaking into every gesture, every awkward silence, every word you bite back before you pronounce it. And the worst part is that you never had a choice. The force that designed who you are was already written before you could utter a single word. Sigmund Freud warned us, but nobody wanted to listen fully. Your life is marked by a secret path, by 5 stages that, like invisible scars, shaped your identity, your obsessions, your hidden pleasures. Imagine this: a child in front of a mirror, still unable to understand what they are seeing, yet already trapped in a play that will define the way they will love, hate, and bond with others. What you see reflected is not innocence. It is a machine in motion, a plan drawn by impulses even the parents don't suspect. Want me to be clearer? Your adult insecurities, those that wake you in the middle of the night, weren't born yesterday. They originated in those moments when you were barely a small body facing a huge world, and your mind clung desperately to the only thing it could try to control: desire. But here comes the brutal blow. That desire was not pure, not noble, not clean. It was raw instinct, voracious, untamable, and Freud called it psychosexual development. Most reduce it to a textbook diagram, but in reality it is a trap with no exit. 5 stations, 5 tunnels of shadow that you traverse blind, and each one leaves indelible marks. If you don't get past them, if you remain stuck in one, you become a slave. Think I exaggerate? Look at your life calmly. The way you relate to others, your level of anxiety, your obsession with control, even your addiction to certain people or pleasures. It's all connected to what happened in those phases. And the most unsettling part is that you aren't even aware of it. Look around you. Serious, respectable adults pretending absolute control over their emotions. The truth is different. They walk with invisible chains, dragging phantoms of childhood stages they never resolved. The executive who can't stand criticism, the woman who constantly seeks others' approval, the man who entangles himself in impossible relationships. They are all puppets of what Freud described with surgical precision. You don't accept it, because accepting this is admitting that your adult self isn't free, that your supposed maturity is a mask that hides the wounded child who still begs in the dark. And here begins the truly chilling part. We aren't talking about simple memories or fleeting emotions. We are speaking about the entire construction of your psyche. The mouth that breastfed you, the control of your sphincters, the fascination with your own body, the shadow of desire toward your parents, the way you learned to channel your energy toward acceptable goals. Each stage isn't an anecdote. It is an initiation ritual that transformed you. And if you stalled in any of those rituals, your whole life remained stuck there, in an eternal cycle that repeats in your relationships, in your failures, in your way of loving or destroying yourself. Freud knew this, and that's why many hated him. Because what he proposed wasn't comfortable. It was disturbing, almost monstrous. He forced us to look at childhood as a battlefield where everything, absolutely everything, is defined. And here's the uncomfortable truth you prefer not to hear. No matter how hard you try to move forward, your present is hijacked by your past. Every decision you make, every fear you feel, every impulse that dominates you is an echo of those 5 stages. And even if you try to hide it beneath layers of rationality, your unconscious always finds a way to remind you. Want to know why your life seems like an endless loop? Want to understand why, despite your efforts, you fall into the same mistakes again and again? Don't look for answers in the future. Look back, much further back, to those first years you swore you had forgotten. Because there, in that marshy ground, the keys are hidden. And today I will take you through that labyrinth. I won't promise comfort, I promise truth. A truth that can make you tremble, that can tear off the mask with which you feign security. Prepare yourself, because once you enter, there's no turning back. The 5 stages of psychosexual development are not an academic lesson. They are a hidden map of your life, and what I'm going to reveal may make you never look at yourself in the mirror the same way again. Are you ready? Then take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear could shatter the image you have of yourself. Let's start again, from the unsettling silence that no one dares to look at. Imagine you enter a long, damp hallway with 5 doors aligned in front of you. Each door guards a secret. Each is a stage of your life you went through without understanding, and which, nevertheless, continues breathing inside you. You didn't choose them, you couldn't skip them, and now, even if you pretend to be an adult, those doors keep creaking in your unconscious. Today we're going to open them one by one. Prepare yourself, because what you're going to see is not a clinical history, it's the broken mirror of your identity. Stop at the first door, the oral stage. Think of a baby who doesn't know the world, who only knows how to suck, bite, and nurse. Everything passes through the mouth. Food, calm, affection. It is an open channel to pleasure and pain. Here, the most radical trust is learned, the trust that your needs will be attended to or ignored. And if they weren't, if hunger or absence repeated themselves, then that mark remains tattooed as a secret wound. The adult who never had enough as a child becomes someone who endlessly seeks to fill voids. Overeating, compulsive smoking, talking non-stop, or clinging to people as if they were oxygen. But if the experience was one of care and presence, the adult learns to trust, to give themselves, to enjoy without fear. See it? The beginning, that small sucking gesture, can become the root of your deepest anxieties or of your capacity to trust the world. Now tell me, what do you think your first door engraved? Now let's walk toward the next one. The second door opens, and the anal stage appears. Here, the body discovers tension and release, the power of holding on and letting go. We aren't talking only about physical control. We're talking about discipline, the first struggle between your desire and the norm. It's the scenario where adults impose rules, punishments, rewards. If the demands were harsh, the child learns that their worth depends on obedience, on control, on being impeccable. That child will become an adult perfectionist, obsessed with order and cleanliness, unable to tolerate a mistake. On the other hand, if the environment was chaotic, if there was no structure, a tendency to disorder, impulsivity, and an inability to sustain commitments develops. In both extremes, there is an echo. The relationship between control and freedom was fractured. Are you one of those who obsess over keeping everything under control? Or one of those who fear confronting limits because discipline became a prison? Listen to your body. The answer hides there. But the third door is even more disturbing. We enter the phallic stage, where the child begins to explore their body and to discover differences between sexes. Here, the mystery of power, identity, and rivalry arises. It's the moment when, without knowing it, feelings toward parents are sketched. Admiration, desire, competition, jealousy. Freud called it the Oedipus complex. and although many have rejected it for being uncomfortable, the truth is that this stage leaves invisible marks. A child who receives no guidance or who faces tensions at home may drag forever the need to prove their worth, to compete to be seen, to look in their partners for what they couldn't resolve at home. And now that we've made it this far, before we continue, I want to present the following to you. Our book, The Formula of Awakening, is now available. Do you feel like there's something inside you that wants to awaken, but you don't know where to start? Then I invite you to transform your way of thinking, and with it, your way of living. Discover who you can become. Start today. The link to get the ebook is in the first pinned comment of this video. Grab your copy now at a great price. With that said, let's continue with the video. Adult sexuality, with its lights and shadows, with its seduction and guilt, has its root here. It's as if we all carry within us the memory of a forbidden triangle, of a repressed desire that is never named, but that dictates with whom we bond and how we relate. We arrive at the fourth door, and when we open it, everything seems to calm. It's the latency stage. Here, the drives seem to fall asleep. Energy is channeled towards school, friends, and play. But be careful. It's not that the forces are extinguished. They hide and reorganize. What wasn't resolved in earlier stages goes on pause, waiting. If in this phase you find a group, a sense of belonging, you develop confidence and skills. If, on the contrary, you receive mockery, rejection, or isolation, that pain embeds itself in your way of facing the social world. The adult who avoids gatherings, who fears the judgment of others, who retreats into themselves, carries the shadow of this stage. Latency is like the psyche's winter, a time when everything seems dormant, but beneath the surface the seeds wait to bloom, or to rot. And finally we open the fifth door, the genital stage. Here desire returns with more force, but it's no longer childhood desire. Now it mixes with identity, with love, with responsibility. It's the moment when you should be able to give and receive, to build mature bonds, to share pleasure without fear or guilt. But, and here is the trap, no one arrives at genitality clean. The scars of previous stages reappear in disguise. The one fixed in the oral stage will seek in sex consolation more than connection. The one broken in the anal will try to control or sabotage relationships. The one who didn't resolve the phallic stage will repeat patterns of jealousy, competition, and insecurity. Genitality is not liberation. It is the final exam in which everything learned or repressed returns with force. And if you fail here, you don't only fail at love, you fail at the possibility of reconciling with yourself. 5 doors, 5 scars. You think you passed through them and left them behind. But no, they remain open deep down. And the most disturbing thing is that you don't need to remember them to obey them. They are already engraved in your unconscious. Those stages keep breathing in the way you love, hate, trust, and fear. They aren't theory. They are the secret architecture of your psyche. And as long as you don't know it, you will keep walking through life under the illusion of being free, when in reality you are only the echo of a child still trying to get out from behind one of those doors. Are you going to dare to open them consciously? Or will you keep living as if the hallway didn't exist? And here we are, at the end of the hallway, with the 5 doors open behind you and an echo resonating in your head. Everything you are today was not born in adulthood. It was cooked in the embers of your childhood. The disturbing thing is that this journey never ends, because every choice you make, every word you say, every relationship you embrace or destroy, continues to be an echo of those stages. Now you know, your freedom is not absolute. It is a daily conquest against those invisible marks that want to drag you back into the past. Look at your life with different eyes. Observe your obsessions, your fears, your hidden desires. Don't judge them as isolated defects. Look at them as signals of those scars that didn't close. And here's the brutal truth. You can spend your life running from those marks, or you can face them once and for all. The first path will make you an elegant prisoner, someone who smiles outwardly while rotting inside. The second path is harder, bloodier, but also the only one that truly makes you free. The path of looking your childhood in the face and telling it, "You are no longer my executioner. Now, you are my teacher." Ask yourself something before you close this video. Which of those doors trapped you? Where did your childish soul get suspended? If you discover it, even if it hurts, you will have taken a step most never dare to take. Because understanding yourself is not a luxury. It is an obligation if you don't want to keep dragging the shadow of a wounded child who rules your life without you noticing. And now listen, because this is not just any ending. If you've made it this far, it's because your unconscious wanted to hear it. And no, it's not a coincidence. If something burns in your chest, if something reverberates in your head, it's because your interior is asking you to look it in the face. So don't ignore it. If you want us to keep exploring together the depths of the human mind, subscribe right now. And I'm going to ask you something different. Leave in the comments a phrase that represents you after this journey. It can be something as simple as, "The doors no longer frighten me," or any idea that is born from your own shadow. I want to read you. I want to see how far this journey has taken you. And I say goodbye to you in an uncommon way. I'm not going to say farewell, because in reality, you never leave. When you close this video, the 5 stages will remain with you, beating in silence. So rather than saying goodbye, I'll leave you with a question that will haunt you like a whisper in the night. Are you living as an adult? Or are you still trapped in the childhood you never resolved? Turn off the screen if you want. But remember, the doors are already open.